Hey folks, hello again. I'm back to talk about Severance season one. Severance season one, full of spoilers, my opinions, theories, thoughts, observations. I'm not attached to the show in any way whatsoever, nor do I know anybody who's attached to the show in any way. I'm not getting paid for this, though I wish I was. So let's get into it. My first section says, I suspect that the creepy guy in all white, who never acknowledged Devon's existence during her coffee run that she shouldn't have been on by herself, and quickly hurried away, and whose face could not be seen, was pivotal to Gabby being severed. I think he's maybe some kind of technician or something. And he just looked so super weird in that outfit. It was giving like 1950s milkman or something. or ice cream man. It was weird. I'm sure that wasn't her husband. I'm sure he wasn't a nurse or like a staff member from the cabin camp or whatever you want to call it. He was just extra creepy. Just extra creepy. And you the only one out here. It's nighttime. And you know, dang near every woman there is pregnant. Like, you're not going to acknowledge her existence in the dark, in the ice. The only excuse is that he was deaf and literally couldn't hear her. Like, what? Anyway, in the next section it says, it was cruel and psychotic. It was cruel and psychotic to have Helly go from her attempted unaliving right back to work. This was a clear indication that while severed, management doesn't view workers like real people who need intense therapy after such an incident, and rather more like avatars with no emotions that can impact their actions and mental acuity. I think that's what that says. I don't know. Yeah, I was probably supposed to look up that word. When I don't know words, I look them up to see what they mean. And usually they become part of my vocabulary. Anyway, like, she was just like, okay, she's coming back. She goes straight from attempting to sever her own mortal coil to back into the elevator where it happened. And it's just fine to you. It's just that makes sense. In whatever reality, I guess. Even theirs. Just okay. Anyway. Next section, it's clear that Harmony wanted Mark and Gemma to remember each other. I think it's because she's technically severed, meaning Harmony, which is why she's listed on the control room wall, and maybe she wants all of her memories, or there's someone she loves who doesn't remember her. And I'm kind of wondering if she's got some weird thing to do with Mark. I don't know. Which would be just gross. I don't know why, it just would be gross. But I think part of the reason why she wanted it to fail is because she wants all of her memories and she's missing some of them because she suffered. Let's see. Next section. The security list doesn't include former employees doesn't seem to include former employees like Carol D, who was mentioned in the share circle. And speaking of, Dylan's sharing was skipped completely, which may suggest that the amount of time he's worked there may be important to the story later. When Milchick took over Helly's introduction, she said she didn't know anything about herself. He mentioned that she was allergic to almonds, and it's likely that she was unaware of it, because She didn't even know the color of her mother's eyes or what state she was born in. And she just supposed to pick physical stuff. What if she didn't know she was allergic to almonds? Actually, I think there's almonds in the machine. I have to go back and look now. Crap. They're trying to take Helly out. Anyway, in the next section, after Mark and Helly found the baby goat dad, Grainer and Harmony asked how many more departments, plural, are you going to let them find? This suggests that there are at least 2 more of the 8 groups listed on the control room walls. She could be responsible for 7, but highly unlikely the one that is listed on. O&D is not listed, which is odd given on management's physical control responsibility over them, which likely will be explained later, nor does Gemma, Miss Casey appear to be, but there were a few names I couldn't make out. Yes, I took the names down, lots of strategic pausing involved. Natalie, on the other hand, is clearly not her subordinate. So yeah, there's that. Let me start charging my phone. Let's see. And I go into some more about that later, either in the documents or the notes that I know I never added to the documents. It appears that Baby Goat Dad is his own department, given the size of the room and that there was only 1 chair. But that doesn't mean that he's not grouped together with people in similar situations. And because no one from any other departments are ever seen, there's a good chance that the severed are not always awake at work, even though it appears that way and they believe they are. This would explain why there are so many empty rooms This would explain why there's so many empty rooms, like the one that Helly and Mark walked through. Having them sleep on some days for sure would make it easy for just 3 people to control 70 to 80 regular workers in small groups instead of all at once, and attempt to keep them from escaping and sharing info with each other. That might be what the control room task lullaby is used for. So yeah, because we have to remember that to get from the elevator to MDR, it takes 14 turns. And there are lots and lots of doors between those 14 turns. And you never see anyone else in the halls except for them, O&D, and management. So it's very possible that behind all those doors, there are people sleeping. I'm just saying. And then also on top of that, the company can mess with their perception of time, because they may think, oh, I've been working for this company for X years, when in fact it's been 4 or even 10 or whatever, depending on how long they've been awake. And most people, when they're, they don't, not most people, I can't say that. And the thing is, they have a clock in their department, but they don't have calendars in their department. So they don't know what day it is. They don't know what day it is. They don't know what month it is. They don't know what year it is. They can only go by what management tells them it is. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, it's January 30th, right? And it's, oh, shoot. Okay. Hold on. Sorry. I'm trying to crack my back. Okay. Let's say it's January 1st, right? And it's a Monday. The next time they're all awake, management could tell them that it's January 2nd, but then in reality, it's actually the 3rd, or, the 10th. Like, they don't know. They don't know what day it is. They They don't know how much time they've actually been with the company. Like even in the scene where Mark comes back to work after taking off, Helly, and everybody confirms Helly dropped her bin. But as far as their perception goes, it was yesterday, but they could have been asleep for a day. They don't know. So if he was not at work and they were asleep the day after or whatever, and then they don't bring him back for 2 days, none of them know the difference. There's no way for them to know. Just saying.